Don't click away, wait for the theme, and that theme is team. That's what makes the dream. I'm your host, DJ Conway, and this is the Dreamcast. With me today are the two co-presidents of AWEN. Can you guys state your names for me?
Teresa.
Amber.
Okay. And first question on my list is, what is AWEN?
AWEN is it's sort of the pagan Wiccan club, but I don't like that term, even though we use it a lot. It's more of a earth-based religion club. And we just try to promote diversity around JJC and like the thoughts of paganism and stuff like that, and let everyone know, hey, we're here and we're friendly.
It used to stand for Awakening
Wisdom, Entering Nature. And then we just kind of stuck with AWEN, because AWEN is the Welsh word for inspiration.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would not have known that ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This is, you guys are like the second club I've got on here. I've got the Gamers Club
Nice.
on here first. But I wanted to get you on here because AWEN is, when I went to the CCC meeting the first time you guys charted whatever it is, I was very interested, and I was like, I wish I had time to go to the meetings because it sounds very interesting. Now, whenever I bring up AWEN to some of the people that don't know about AWEN, there's always a stigma, like, they're witches or whatever. I'm like,
some of us are.
Well, yeah, that's the term that
Right.
a lot of the people go under because it is about magic. I mean,
In a sense,
yeah. But I was reading a lot about, the stuff after I met Amber, and one of the things I read online was that magic is just intention, and it's kind of like prayer, and prayer is just the purest form of intention, which is pretty much the same thing that spell work, I guess you could call it, would go under, is that it's all just willpower and what the energy that you're putting out there.
Yeah. It's wanting to make change in the world and doing that with the best way that you can by altering your thoughts and saying, hey, I'm gonna do this today and I'm gonna do good because of this. You know what I mean? It's using your will, using your own power that you have as one human on this earth to change it for the better.
okay, I really do like that answer, only because a lot of people think, I hate this, because I brought it up to people that don't exactly go here, but I brought it up to a friend group outside, like, yeah, I'm this Wiccan club, and they're like, oh, the demon worship.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
What is that even? How?
No.
Do you sacrifice cats? We're like, no. If you sacrifice a cat,
cats, we'll turn you into
Yep.
the police.
it's not gonna go well, I promise.
So what do you guys do at your meetings?
The meetings are sort of half and half. We do business first, so fundraisers, events, things like that. We do a lot of volunteer work, and then the other half we do lessons on a huge, broad variety of topics.
Lately, we were in charge of decorations and a lot of the stuff for the Halloween dance. So we were practicing like no other for the last several weeks how to do, teaching
tarot.
members to do tarot, and then henna, which
They're cards used to like predict the future, like they're divination
those.
tools.
yeah.
You know what? I've always wanted to get I don't think you guys are psychics or anything, but like, go ahead.
Oh, she can be. You get her drunk, and she'll tell you deepest, darkest secrets you've never told her, and it's concerning. A lot of our friends are like, "Oh, I want to see it," and you don't want to see it. You don't want to cry, so you don't want to see it.
It'll change you.
I've always wanted to get a psychic reading, but every time I've seen one like in the corner of my eye as I'm going down the highway, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna stop there.
No, I mean, because
it's hard to find the person who's actually legit too.
Yeah, it's. I would only do it based on a recommendation.
Yeah,
like that would be the only. I mean, I got one tarot reading from just some random lady on Ruby Street. She's got a location on Ruby Street, and another one on
Plainfield. Yeah.
It's by that Six Corners area, but she charged like $50 or something to do it.
Really way expensive.
And she sat me in there and asked me like 12 different questions and would pull out a card and be like, the spirit tells me. And it was pretty cool for the experience. I just probably wouldn't. I would just rather get my cards done by Amber because she's a lot better at it, at least in my opinion. Because I think she knows me more. But
Now, with the cards, what exactly goes into reading someone's future?
Well, each person, how they read cards is different. Some people connect to them on purely like a book and card level, and I always try to get people, when I teach anyway, I always try to get them to connect on more of a spiritual level with their cards, because I tell them it's 40% reading people, 60% intuition. You know what I mean? And some people just don't have that much intuition, but it can be learned with time. That's what I tell them too. I've been reading tarot cards for 15 years, so it's practice, you know what I mean?
Mm.
But it's all about, you have to be able to look at all of the cards not as just individual pieces of advice and information. You have to be able to put them together into a story about that person's life and whatever their current problem is.
I'm just trying to like fathom that, because every time I've seen a psychic or anyone with tarot cards, it's always just been on TV and smoke and mirrors and this.
Yeah.
Like, I recently just saw this movie, Ouija, The Origin of
Oh,
I never saw that.
I hate those movies.
The first one was really bad, I'll say that. It was terrible. And I saw this movie, and it was just about this family who was using this Ouija board to, like, not exactly, we'll scam people. They used it for money, and then this the little girl starts actually being able to tell the future and use the Ouija board. And I don't think that's the real story when it comes to anything like that, obviously, but...
I have a really huge, I'm not going to say hatred, but anger towards Ouija boards. They're really dangerous, actually, to be honest. Because when you use one, especially if you use one and it's kind of like you're putting your own energy into it. Mm-hmm. And whenever you use one of those, it's opening up a portal in that area. It's literally, you're opening up a pathway for spirits to come through, and you never know who it's going to be. I mean, you can tell yourself all day long that, oh, I'm talking to my dead grandma or something like that, but you don't know that. You could be talking to anything or anyone.
It's funny, they do bring that up in the movie that I just saw.
Oh, really?
You know, every time I've ever brought up, hey, like, because I'm a guy that's like, let's take a risk or whatever, because I like the experience, I've always just been like, hey, you guys want to mess around with a Ouija board? And every time they're just like, no, why do you bring that up? I'm like, I just want to try it one time. Like, they're like, you want to get possessed by demons?
I don't know if we'll go that far.
No, yeah.
But it is one of those things where you're bringing a sort of energy to you. It's kind of drawing.
And stuff does happen, too. Like, there's been... I do house cleansings a lot. And I literally, like, kid you not, 9 times out of 10, it's always like, oh, I found out my daughter was playing with the Ouija board or something like that. And then they feel like their house is haunted after that. But it's mostly just like an energy kind of thing, you know, like negative emotions. But after I go over and I cleanse it, and I don't charge for stuff like that because it makes me feel weird. But I'm always like, never again, don't touch it.
I don't know what way to call it. So, would you call yourself more like the chick from the Poltergeist?
She was I think they referred to her as like a spiritual medium or something like that. No, I'm not really a medium. A medium is someone, by definition, who channels spirits and they can speak through that person. They're like the link. But no, I can't. I've never tried to do that. I never wanted to. It kind of scares me.
No, it's definitely a scary thing. Now, I'm still trying to understand, because I am just a simple guy that doesn't know anything about any of this. So, in AWEN do you guys do any kind of, what are those things called? Like, exercises when it comes to trying to understand your energy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We play,
a lot.
Psychic games. I don't know if nobody can see it, but I did air quotes. But it's a lot of fun. It's one of those things where you try to push an image or
a number, a color.
Yeah, just like some kind of concept onto somebody else and see if they can get it.
Like I don't know if you've ever done this in elementary school when they try to play that ESP game and someone will stand outside a door and everyone else will think of one thing and then that person will try to guess what it is when they come back in. Sort of like that.
I've played that game only once, and then they guessed it right away. And they were like, "You didn't guess that." I'm like sitting there like, "They know. How do they know?" And I never talked to that person again. I was that scared.
Some people are a lot more receptive to stuff like that than others. I am not very, but she's pretty good at it. And sometimes it's hit or miss, but it's a lot of fun to try, and we do things like raise energy, where you try to like muster, and it sounds like I'm saying like muster courage and do something, but like, you know, gather your energy into a certain area.
It's like I try to approach it from both a scientific and religious mind point. The science behind it is that every human being, we're like walking batteries, you know what I mean? We all have that magnetic energy field around our bodies at all times. And so it's sort of like gathering that together, like in other philosophies, Buddhism, Hinduism, it's like your chi, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you're gathering your chi and sort of building it up in front of you, and then you could use that to do things with it. Like, we do this game called where we try to push each other or like toss a ball and stuff like that. And it's everyone feels it differently. Like, some people feel like pins and needles in their hands. Some people get hot and cold. It's funny when we do like the push game, someone will close their eyes and then the other person will try to like push them and they'll be like they'll like almost fall back, but it's just stuff that's kind of fun, you know, and it's sort of, we try to get people to think out of the box, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. A lot of it's being comfortable in a way that makes you, like, in doing something weird. Like, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when I worked at a haunted house. The main thing the guy said is that if you take away the lights, the setting, and the makeup, you're a bunch of weirdos dancing around in a field. So it's kind of being comfortable being weird and being comfortable with what you're feeling and your intuition and trusting yourself.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, is trusting your intuition.
A lot of people who have trouble doing tarot cards often just don't trust their own instincts. Yeah. They'll want to say something, but they're afraid of being wrong, so they won't, and miss the opportunity.
And that's what I hate about the whole stigma with, I don't want to say Wiccan. Is there a
No,
term?
that's fine. I'm Wiccan, that's what I identify as, but paganism is like an umbrella term, and everyone else, we have all kinds of different people. We have Christians in there, we have a couple Catholics, we have some people who are agnostic, we've had atheists before, all kinds of different people who come in, you know what I mean? And just, if you have interest, we're not gonna like push our beliefs on you, be like, you have to do this, but it's just about a learning experience. So, but I don't get offended by, I'm so used to questions.
No, it's a good thing, because I like questions, because then I can clarify things for people.
Mm-hmm. I wrote this down. Do you guys feel like the Hex Girls sometimes?
Hex Girls.
From Scooby-Doo. The Hex Girls of the band. That was my favorite movie as a kid, so...
I remember that.
Girl, and I'm gonna put a spell on you. Gonna put a spell on you.
Wouldn't say that, but there is
I wish I felt like that.
But no, there is a movie for Scooby-Doo where she talks about being Wiccan, and she's like the only one that, because she has Wiccan blood in her. It doesn't really work like that. It's not like a genetic thing. No. But somebody who's Wiccan was the only person that could, put away this evil guy that was in the movie.
Oh, okay.
It was probably one of the. I say the Zombie Island was scarier, but it was as scary as Scooby-Doo movie.
And it was interesting. I liked it. But he considered himself a warlock, because a lot of people in...
Is that the one who pretended to have a crush on Velma?
Yeah,
and was reading her book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember.
But yeah, a lot of people who are in this sort of religion, call themselves different things. She calls herself a witch. Some people call themselves warlocks, wizards, druids.
Warlock's not really.
Isn't that like a...
Warlock is actually kind
term?
of like an insult.
Yeah.
Because the word warlock comes from an old word that meant oathbreaker or like liar. So usually both men and women and any gender refer to themselves as witches if that's what they feel. But there's so many terms. It's like a long freaking list, but everyone calls themselves something different, and some people don't call themselves anything at all. You know what I mean? There's people who just follow a solitary path, or people who practice in a group. There's so much diversity in paganism. I think that's what pulled me to it, is that you can have any kind of path that you like, and you sort of make your own way, kind of thing,
One of the things I really like is that exact thing, is that there's not a set, like, I grew up Catholic, and they were like, if you don't believe this, then you're going to hell. At least in the school that I was in, and the churches I went to.
They hammered it in when I went there, yeah.
And I think when a lot of kids go to those kind of schools, and they don't feel like they believe in everything, that kind of pushes them away from that kind of religion. And Catholicism in and of itself isn't bad. It's just some of the things that they teach aren't all inclusive in the way that paganism can be. We have a couple members who believe in different sorts of gods, because paganism is just a umbrella term for people who believe in many gods, usually.
Polytheism.
Yeah, and as opposed to monotheism, which is like Catholicism.
Or Christianity.
Yeah, and one of our members loves the Greek pantheon, which is the Greek set of gods, and the other one likes the Egyptian set of gods, so like Gaia and stuff like that. So it's, it's all about what you feel connected with, and no one's there to say that you're wrong. You can't, it's one of those things where, like, when I grew up going to Catholic school, they were like, if you don't believe this, you're wrong. In this, it's not. It's not
you
like
do
that.
you, bro.
Yeah. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, we don't really care.
That's
what
the
you
main.
do. Yeah.
That is probably, I would say, the only rule is it's part of what's called the Wiccan Creed. It's and ye harm none, do what you will. Essentially, it's just do whatever you want, live your life, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the main law, I guess.
Now, I'm not against religion in any way, but I think that's where some stigma comes from. Mostly because I think it's mostly just from society in general, because like, oh, I don't want to be weird, I don't want to look different. Because me myself, I was raised Catholic, but when I was younger, I did have this kind of. I watched the show Charmed. And
Charmed was my show.
Yeah.
So cheesy. What is wrong with people?
And they always had the scry. And I was like, Mom, I want to get the scry. And she brought me to this crystal shop. And it was,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh, cool.
I fell in love. I was like, what is this? Like, I grabbed a crystal and was like, I'm going to wear this forever. I wore it for the first day of, like, 6th grade. And,
oh, no. I can see where this is going.
Why are you wearing a crystal, man? What is that? It's weird. I'm like, and then I took it off and I put it up in my little, like, I called it the Chamber of Secrets. It was just a cabinet. And I closed it and never touched it again. So, but that's the thing. People think it's weird to do all these things, but it's really not. It's whatever you have interest in. My whole thing is experience all and then figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I keep bringing up movies.
No, you're fine.
I know, but I'm a movie guy.
Well, yeah, I would assume.
Yeah,
your club.
And my question is, are there any movies that kind of... Well, I'll ask that in a second, but are there any movies that kind of represent what you think of as how it is?
Unfortunately, not really. I mean, there are movies that sort of try, but it was very hit and miss. I mean, like The Craft is probably one that a lot of people think of. The Craft was a terrible movie, but they sort of had like some of the basics down, but we don't do anything with blood or with animals, you know what I mean? There's nothing that is harmed. There is no violence in The Craft. Some people, certain branches of paganism will occasionally sort of go off on a different path, and sometimes they'll do what's called blood magic, but I don't really trek with that a whole lot. Again, it's everyone's personal choice, but I consider that as harm, you know what I mean? Even if you're doing it to yourself, I just don't. But it's always to themselves, you know what I mean?
But there also is a section of paganism where people run around to do all their magic naked. So.
Yes,
it's also one we don't do, but
yeah, no, it's called Skyclad, and that's sort of fallen more out of favor. Paganism has really, I would say it's the most changing religion because it's like it updates every year kind of thing, but Skyclad is definitely falling out of favor. It used to be a huge thing back in the 70s, of course, but everyone would just be naked all the time. It's not really practical in Illinois.
Or in America in general.
But The Craft was okay. It was just, I mean, none of us, well, not that I'm aware of anyway, no one really has powers. Like, I can't force people to do things.
I wish I could.
Sometimes it might be nice, but...
I'd be kind of scared.
I know, right?
I'd be like, give me an A.
And I think you guys get more members.
Right?
Yeah, I know, right?
Come
show
to
me.
us.
Show me how to do this with my mind. Do you guys get members like that?
Yes, unfortunately. It's happened.
Not while I've been there, but yeah.
I mean, some people, I don't know, I like to call them Buffy witches.
Buffy was my girl.
Yeah. No, I love Buffy. I'm a nerd. But definitely not a great depiction, Willow, you know what I mean? But we do get,
She got scary.
Yeah, she did. It was cool though. But I have had a couple people try to join the club, be like, oh, can we, do this? Let's make things float and stuff like that. Or how do we like turn our eyes different colors? And I'm just like,
oh my God, really?
Yeah. And I'm like,
Lord.
you guys, come on now.
We got some interesting people.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm sorry if that.
No,
but that makes me laugh. So
makes us laugh too.
Yeah.
Just sitting and I imagine you guys just sitting there in the club and then like, hand raises. When can I learn how to float?
Oh,
never.
Would you ever have a member who got angry about it and just?
No, not angry. Just kind
Disappointed?
of disappointed, and then we'd sort of. You can leave if you like, but I mean, I always try to be like, stay, you'll learn something, and if you like it, then you like it, and if you don't, then feel free, you know what I mean? We'll always be here, but... But we've also had a couple people. I don't like to say no to anybody because I like to be very inclusive. So we have had a couple people too who practice Satanism, and they'll also join the club, which Satanism is a part of the paganism umbrella. So I don't like to exclude them from that, but they are. And there's two different kinds of Satanism. There's the one kind who actually believes in the Christian devil, and then there's the other kind who doesn't believe in any kind of Christian devil. They just believe that their thing is like, I put myself first above everybody else, and everything else is below them, you know?
I think that's my brother's.
Yeah. Which doesn't follow a lot of paganism ideals.
Because usually paganism is a lot with nature, like being one with nature, being equal to everybody else, not putting yourself above or below.
It's very strong that you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anyone else, and you have to be healthy, you know what I mean? But it is definitely finding a oneness with everything around you kind of thing.
Okay. Now, here's the question that I told you guys offhand. Here's the question that I'm going to ask every podcast. Favorite movie?
Pitch Perfect 2.
Now, is there a certain reason? We're not going to overanalyze it.
Oh, that's what, I love anything I can sing along with. I love musicals in general. So I loved Into the Woods. I love Pitch Perfect 1. I love almost all the Disney movies. Anything where I can sing along with the words. We go to karaoke every Sunday, and I love it. As opposed to, we had the option to go to an open mic night for a certain place, but those were all original songs that I can't, and I have a hard time being quiet. So, and that's very much where you have to be quiet and listen. So I like karaoke. So if somebody's singing a song I know, everyone's allowed to sing along with them pretty much. But I know almost all the songs for Pitch Perfect 2, and I will watch that movie over and over and over again if I get the opportunity.
It never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
I used to hate musicals only because you're a guy, you're not supposed to. When I'm, yeah, but I love them now. Mm-hmm. Oh God, I first watched Rocky Horror.
Yes,
I still haven't seen that.
I want to see that. Oh my God! I keep forgetting that you haven't seen that. God.
I've never seen it in theaters. One night I was hanging out with all my friends and they're like, "Hey, you want to go see Rocky Horror?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." What time? Midnight.
Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah.
I didn't know. I had no idea. My friends didn't either. They're like, apparently they're showing at midnight Saturday, Hollywood Boulevard. You want to go see it? I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah. Show up. They're like, all the seats are filled. Like, front row's open. I'm like, why is front row? Let's get front row.
Oh, no.
We got front row. Show starts. Everyone walks on stage. I'm sitting there like, wait, what is going on? And then it keeps going, and it gets more progressive. Oh, I meet Dr. Frankenfurter. Oh, I met Dr. Frankenfurter. Oh, and then Brad. Mm-hmm. It's Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
Yeah. At the end, when he got in a little corset thing, he jumped right in front of me and was singing to me. I'm sitting there like,
what did I get myself into?
My brother is just like this is not his scene at all. I can deal with it, but he's just like. He's looking down, trying not to make eye contact. And then my cousin Eddie's like, "What the are we doing here?" Funnest night I've ever had, just seeing their reactions. But yeah, I love musicals.
We
is
have
what
to
I
go.
say.
Yeah, I
it
keep meaning
so
to take
fun.
you, and I always forget. But
we'll get around to it eventually.
It's fun though.
Yeah, I don't know about your first time seeing the movie, but definitely go do that. And as for you, your favorite movie?
I actually really love the Pitch Perfect movies too, but I was gonna go with Stranger Than Fiction, with Will Ferrell, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Emma Thompson. I love it.
Hold on while I
Google it.
I'm not Googling it, I'm putting it in my list
of
movies to
I
watch.
love it. It was one of Will Ferrell's more serious films, and I was really genuinely surprised and pleased with his performance in it. But it was it's about this author who Emma Thompson plays, and she's having a hard time finishing her book. She doesn't know how to kill her main character, Harold Crick, and Harold Crick is played by Will Ferrell in real life in the movie. And he realizes that he starts hearing the narrator's voice in his head, and so he's like, "Who are you?" And he's freaking out, and he's an auditor. He's a tax auditor. And he meets Maggie Gyllenhaal. can't talk. And she's like the owner of this bakery. He like has to audit her, and she like hates him at first, and they end up falling in love. But it's all about him like refinding himself, because he was this boring nobody man. And then when he started hearing this author's voice in his head narrating his life and telling him what was gonna happen, he's like, fuck, I need to change because I'm boring. But it's really good. And I write a lot, so it really, I don't know. It
connected.
Yeah,
I mean,
I connected with it a lot.
I love that movie, Now You See It, with all the like close-up magic stuff, and I almost joined Close-Up Magic Club just because I saw that movie and I loved it. But
Now You See Me.
Now You See Me. There you go. That's what
I just saw the second one too.
Did you?
It was good.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe is. God, I love that.
I know. Did you see Swiss Army Man?
Jesus.
It was so good.
Everyone's like, oh, that movie was terrible.
I loved it.
No, like, it's not a bad movie, but, like, all the people that I bring to the movies, they're like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to see this cool movie. DJ recommended it. And then it's just like, what the hell was that? That guy who talks?
People won't take movie recommendations from me because I love all movies.
Oh, God.
It's so sad. Like, there's only one movie I think I've
She
ever
loves
seen.
Tinkerbell movies.
Sure do. Love all the Tinkerbell movies.
Oh, those movies. Excuse me, audience. She's talking about the CG Disney movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't say anything about like, oh, you like that movie? That's bad. Unless I'm not gonna bring that up. There's a certain movie, but like, you can like what you like, and I have no stigma against children movies. I've just never seen anyone, so I can't, seen any of them, so I can't form an opinion.
But no, there's only one movie I didn't like. It was some horror movie called Cold Storage, and it was just both really creepy and not very well done. And I was just like, never mind, not finishing this one.
Oh, there was this.
No, I did finish it.
There was this horrible
willpower.
The French. Oh my God, they make really up. Sorry, horror movies. Just gonna put that out there.
So
okay.
Yeah, you need to watch Japanese horror films.
Oh, I do. I love it.
Have you ever seen House?
Yes. Yes. Oh my God.
You will not be able to handle House.
No, it was. Oh God.
I watched Twisted Sister. I like that one a lot. I don't know if you ever saw that
Dun,
one.
dun, 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 dun.
I wish.
Dun, dun.
No. It was like about this one sister that dies, and just this whole thing was so messed up. The whole, like, it was like a very psychological movie that I didn't realize until the end because
I probably like blocked out the name of that French movie that I saw. I saw it like in high school. It was awful. But they like skinned this girl alive, and I was just like, no.
I mean, I saw every Saw movie, but I don't think I can handle skinning alive.
Saw gets terrible after the third.
It's okay. I liked I like how everything came together at the last one. Like, you find out everything that's really been going on through all the other movies.
I didn't. I stopped after the second. I was like, nah.
Second one was good. Third one was okay.
I liked the fifth one a lot.
It was all just gore. Which was that? Was the? Oh, I got this. Auto insurance dude.
There was, I don't remember, I just know that there were 5 people that were all trapped together, and they had to work together, and they didn't know that and stuff, and
that was the chick that played
dumb.
the vampire and Angel. That's the only one I know.
Darla?
Yeah, Darla.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but before I get on with these movies, yeah, I love movies so much. It's crazy. Every weekend I try to go to one. But the reason I ask this question every time on the podcast is you learn a lot about someone just by their favorite movie. And we're not going to analyze it too much, but just keep that in mind when someone's telling you their favorite movie. Okay, so what are your goals with this club?
My goal from the beginning, I started this club with my friend Jeremiah about 7 years ago. I pay for my classes out of pocket, so I'm like, I've been here a long time.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a long trek, but we started it 7 years ago, and he's currently living in New York. He became a pagan minister, which was really awesome. And we started it with the idea that we wanted to bring not just knowledge of paganism to the community and students at JJC, but also to let everyone know that it can be a part of like an average, quote unquote, normal daily life, that it doesn't have, you don't have to be like wand carrying, cloak wearing weirdo kind of thing. You can be, but you don't have to be. Because a lot of people are very surprised when I tell them that I'm pagan or Wiccan, and they're just like, what?
Because they haven't seen your tattoos yet.
I know.
Real quick, I also like tattoos. Do you have any you can show me?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have this one. It's a Celtic armband, and then this is the this is like one of the symbols of paganism, the 5-pointed star.
The one that people think.
Yes, is the devil. Yeah. No, it's always actually been a pagan symbol. It wasn't turned into a devil symbol until Christianity came and sort of warped everything. I'm not trying to be like insulting, but
it's history.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
history.
the witch. What was the Salem witch trial?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Salem witch
And the
trial.
Crusades.
The Crusades. Yep. Witch hammer.
Which one's on the back of your neck?
The one on the back of my neck is the triple goddess symbol. It's there's 3 parts. The moon is a big part of paganism and Wicca in general. The 3 phases of the moon represent the 3 phases of womanhood: the maiden, the mother, and the crone. So it's like the 3 stages of a woman's life kind of thing. And the triple goddess symbol sort of represents that, because the moon is a heavy influence on both male and female, but primarily female. We see it as like, as a huge like feminine energy kind of thing. But
actually, I listen to a lot of podcasts, as you can tell, but they do talk about. I've heard that the moon is also a form of a feminine object or whatever.
Yes.
And that's why we always look to the moon for something like that.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. But, funny you mentioned the moon, because the moon is the logo of the podcast, too.
Oh, really?
It's called the Dreamcast, and it has the little crescent.
Oh,
cool.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Dreamcast. You listen to Welcome to Night Vale?
Yes! Yes, I do! His voice is so amazing.
One time I had a hard time falling asleep, so I just put him on, and I was like, it's gonna be great. And then I had to re-listen to it the next day, but it was beautiful.
I
talks
wouldn't be able
about
to sleep
Carlos.
to that.
I have a hard time because I've been conditioned to just listen very carefully, so initially it was kind of hard, but as I got more tired, it was easier to fall asleep.
Oh, that stuff freaks me out.
Really?
But it does give me inspiration to write. I love writing horror, so I love Welcome to Night Vale.
How far are you into it, out of curiosity?
Not that far. The only time I get a chance.
My Bluetooth on, and I have it go over the speakers for anywhere I'm going.
I just like it when he talks about what's his face and
Carlos.
his beautiful head of hair.
I think my favorite one so far is the one where they kind of like switch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so fucked up. I didn't even realize that was happening until like the second one. I was like, what is happening?
And it's like, there are blood, and you think it's so happy. It's a nice version of Night Vale. Like, there's blood everywhere. Oh.
And then when, like, in the previous one, he's like, the studio is much drier than it should be. And I didn't get that. I was like, that's weird. It's a desert.
Yeah.
I was like, shouldn't it be? And then he's like, there's blood and carnage and visceral everywhere. And I was like,
oh, it's written so well. I love it so much. But what have you guys achieved as a club?
a lot more members this semester.
Yeah, when we first started out, it was very... I mean, because we were all... It was a new learning experience, you know what I mean? But we actually started out with a solid, 18 members, which was great. And then we sort of did, it was tough going because we had to get used to the JGC policies of even being in a club, all the paperwork, all of, the fundraising and stuff like that. So at first we were like, what are we going to do kind of thing. But me and Jeremiah primarily focused a lot on lessons. That's the one thing that we've kept this whole time is that, doing lessons. And I try to encourage people, if you know a topic, learn it, you know what I mean? And then teach it. I like to do that a lot. And
we have one kid,
who's really
one
into...
adult in our club who's really into astrology. And we're hoping he'll do a lesson on it.
He wants to, yeah. Because I'm always, and I'm like, hey, if you want to talk about it, man, go for it. Give me a break. but other stuff that we've done, we just started this year in March. It'll be our 4th annual masquerade ball. Yeah, we always do a different theme. Our first one was Enchanted Forest, and then
Roaring 20s.
Roaring 20s, stuff like that.
Enchanted Forest again.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun with it last time, though.
When do you guys have it?
We always have it in March on the Friday right before spring break.
Down in the J cafeteria.
This coming one, we're still... I would really love to do a murder mystery themed masquerade ball.
But that's a lot of work.
But it requires a lot of work. Yeah.
if you guys need help with that, because I will say murder mystery is my favorite.
I love it.
Things.
I know.
Because like, why you're not attached to any just slasher. Like, if it's like, who did it? That's
right.
the thing.
Yeah.
That's why I love Scream. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. But it's gonna take a lot. So we're not sure yet if we can pull it off. I've reached out to like other clubs and stuff to see if they could help. I wanted JC players to get involved, but they have so much going on. You know what I mean? Especially with shows and stuff like that. But they did say that if I can write the script or if someone else can write the script, then maybe they'll see if they have any
they say that?
volunteer time.
Oh, yeah.
Because we need a script, you know what I mean? And, like, actors to be, like, plants and stuff like that, but...
At Wolfpack Productions, we try to, like, do projects a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry. Also, I'm looking at my phone, looking at the questions. I'm not
Oh,
just,
no, that's cool,
Just fine, even if you are.
Yeah. But
we're good enough to entertain ourselves for a few minutes.
But, as Wolfpack Productions, we're always looking for actors, and going to the JC players, we're like, hey, you guys, and they're like, bring us the script first.
Right.
And, yeah, we write scripts, too, so if you need help with any of that, just let us know.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
Mm-hmm. God, you guys do such a great combo. It would be so funny.
And, so those are the goals for this year?
This year we just finished the Halloween dance in the club showcase.
Thank God.
That was really, it was
a lot of work.
Man, it was a lot of work, but I'm glad it went off really well. We had about 50 people at the dance. It was pretty good. After this, our next thing is a bake sale. We always do at least 2 to 3 fundraisers and then like 3 or 4 volunteer projects. Last year we did the Hands of Hope. That's where we're probably gonna be returning to them again soon. They're like right here, a local charity organization, and their symbol is like a purple hand kind of thing. And when we were there last time, we bagged like gigantic crates of beans, and so we just like scooped them up and like put them into individual bags for like needy families and stuff like that. So we'll probably go back and do that again. We sang Disney songs the whole time while we were working.
That sounds amazing.
It was really fun. And then we participate in the Foster Palooza. They do that here at JJC in December. We're doing that again, and that's for all of the foster kids in the area. They all come, and it's like this huge event for them. They can get like haircuts, they get to play games, they get gifts, they get free books, face painting, all kinds of like really cool fun stuff. And so we help with that, and we do various things. Like we help out with the library, because our advisors work in the library, so we'll help out, hand out books and stuff like that. We donate our own books too, and then we'll probably do like face painting or something like that there.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
You bought a bunch of face paint for that Halloween dance and didn't use it. So.
But I love doing stuff like that.
And I love children. Yeah. They don't like me, but I think it's because they're like cats, where they're like, oh, you are too interested in what I'm doing, so screw you.
Oh yeah, come give me a hug. And like,
no.
Turns right around.
Pretty much. I'm like, but you're so tiny. I love tiny things.
I was thinking it too.
Shut up.
I was thinking it too. I just didn't want to say anything. God, you made me laugh.
Amber makes everybody laugh, mostly just because of the way she laughs and her faces.
I know people like that. Now, I got 2 last questions. One is mostly for me. How are there 2 co-presidents?
Well, Theresa technically is the president this semester. I sort of wrangled her into that.
Yeah, because she's not a student.
I'm not a student this semester. I'm only a community member.
There were only 2 returning members from last semester that were still students. Mm-hmm. And it was me and this other person in our club named M. And M gets a lot of anxiety with responsibility, and I'm a lot closer to Amber, who is going to be doing all the lessons anyway. So
we're best friends.
Yeah, pretty much, last 3 years. Yeah. So it worked out just kind of like that, and I told her, I was like, I want to borrow some of your books so I can read more about this. I figure if I'm going to be the president of a club, I should probably know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because we know each other really well, we work together well.
There's a lot of yelling, but we usually come to some kind of compromise.
Yeah. But there hasn't been any point where we were like, no, I want to do this. No, I want to do this. Like, there hasn't been anything like
you
that.
You guys are lucky. I'm not even co-presidents, and I've had that problem.
I mean, we have it a little bit, but then she'll be like, Theresa. I'll be like, Amber, what? But
sometimes I set my dreams too high, and she kind of like, she's like, no.
It's like, we tried that, or, you know, I promise you that's not going to work. I was like, you can't even hold your attention long enough for it.
Now we got 2 last questions.
Awesome.
First one, what do you guys plan on doing with your lives? Career-wise or other?
Go first.
I'm going into criminal justice. For like the first 2 years of being here, I majored in psychology. And then I was like, that's a really hard field to get into, and you have to be really, really good at it, and I was too worried about messing somebody up. So I was like, you know, and my dad was a police officer, so I was like, you know what, I think that I'm going to try one of these classes, see how it goes. And I loved it. I had Rotuno, I think, Miss Alice Jones? I don't know, it was one of those two, for one of my first criminal justice classes, and I absolutely loved the field. I loved the topics, I loved the subjects. Psychology is awesome. I love learning about how, you know, about people's minds and how people work and stuff, but it's a very dry subject if you've ever taken classes for it. The material is
Yeah.
You need a good teacher for it.
And I had really good teachers. It was just the material. I don't care about what Freud said. I really don't. He's been dead for I don't know how long. A lot of what he said is wrong.
Yeah.
There were like 3 facts that he said that were probably true, and then most of it was just off the wall. But criminal justice is a field that I think needs a lot of people who can think level-headedly. That's not a word, but you know, and
who are kind, I would say.
And it's a field that I've always loved hearing about. You know, my dad's stories. You know, he'll tell me them randomly throughout the day. And
he was a cop.
Yeah, well, said that already.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Wait enough. I told you I should pay attention to the thing I say.
Which part of criminal justice do you plan on?
I want to go federal, but I don't know where yet. Probably the Drug Enforcement Administration, mostly because I have a lot, like in my past, I've had a lot of people who were addicted to drugs, and a lot of people in my life now who don't believe me when I say, you know, even weed is bad to you for some extent. Like, it's not good for your lungs. And more importantly, I was reading an article about it. Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Good point. That if you smoke weed before your brain finishes developing, when it doesn't stop developing until like 23, 25, it actually physically changes the way your brain develops, and it can make it physically harder for you to handle stress, which I told somebody recently, and they were like, son of a bitch.
That's how I feel with alcohol in general.
Yeah.
I
I don't drink at all.
Neither do I.
I have a lot of addiction in my family that, you know, I don't want to be a part of, and that's another reason I think the Drug Enforcement Administration would be kind of somewhere I'd want to be. But I just have to go to, you know, I'm probably going to go to Lewis, I think, for it, because I've heard their criminal justice is really good.
Nice.
I'm actually double majoring in Japanese and English as a second language. I speak Japanese fluently. Yeah.
Your face.
Yeah.
I only want that so I don't have to, like, read the subs all the time.
Right?
Yeah, I don't need subs.
That's all I know.
She'll make us watch Japanese, like, anime in Japanese, and then, like, there's subtitles, and
it's so much better.
Your TV is, like, too far
I have
away.
a tiny TV.
Well, it's, like, hard, like, it cuts off the bottom sometimes, and Adele, our other friend that watches it with us, doesn't ever wear her glasses that she should.
Yeah, she's like, I can't see what they're saying. But yeah, I'm a huge nerd. But I love the culture. I love the language. And I know a lot of people say it's too hard to learn. It's not. It's a really easy, straightforward language to learn. Especially if you already know another language like Spanish or anything like that. It was surprisingly easy to pick up. But the only thing that is hard is the writing systems, because there's like 5 different writing systems. But
I heard there's like different types of language as well. In Japan.
Well, there's different dialects, is what it is. Just
kind of like Chinese.
Yeah, different like accents, kind of things, depending on what region you're from. The 2 main ones are like Kyoto and, you know, like Tokyo kind of thing. But
like
Kansai.
I'm a wrestling fan, and it's okay if you guys don't know that. There's 2 wrestlers, Shinsuke Nakamura and Asuka, both some of my favorite wrestlers, and they're both Japanese, but 2
different
very
areas.
far apart, and they can't understand each other, and that boggles my mind.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like
It's a
somebody from
distinct
Boston
difference.
trying to talk to somebody from like the deep south.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, even
Or someone from even like Britain.
Yeah,
trying to
there you
talk
go.
to someone from here. You know what
I mean, we have the same words, but like
Yeah.
depending on where they are from Britain, like a lot of people don't know that there are like 30 different accents in England.
Yeah.
And they can get really hard to understand. There was one stand-up comic I was watching that could do all of them, and he was all like, people say the British accent is the most attractive, and they say, but you've never heard half of these, and he starts doing it, and I'm like, oh god, that sounds like a blender.
But And I'm also double minoring in theater and music. So, but what I want to do...
To be here forever.
I'm not quite sure. I want to either teach English in Japan and live out there permanently, or I'm going to move back home to California, where I'm originally from, and teach Japanese out there. I'm just not sure yet. I have to go live in Japan for a little while first to see if I actually want to consider living there permanently. Because multiple people have told me it's such a culture shock.
Oh, sure.
You know?
I mean, my friend was like, "We're gonna go live in Japan for 6 months." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, but like once we get out there, we're stuck there for 6 months."
Yeah.
And I know this is such a stereotype, but like if like I see a yakuza or something like that, I'm gonna be freaking out. Like, oh God, just don't look in the eye. Don't look in the eye.
Like seeing a gang member out here. You're just like...
That's the thing out there too, is that like they actually say that most yakuza crime isn't bad in Japan actually, but most yakuza have like a strict code that they follow. That if you notice that it's distinct tattoos too that you can often recognize, like arm to
usually
wrist.
full,
Yeah.
and they're very traditional
Yeah.
looking for Japanese culture.
But the thing is, like, don't look them in the eye. Don't speak if you know Japanese fluently, try to pretend like you only speak English, because usually they'll leave you alone.
Especially because being an American going to any foreign country.
Oh, everybody hates us.
Yeah.
I don't even like. I understand why, but like you don't know me, man. I'm an
Yeah.
American.
I had this awful teacher in high school that told us that other countries hate us because of our freedoms, and I was like, no,
We
other
don't.
countries
No.
hate us because of that
'Cause we're
stupid
dicks.
statement.
That and we're about. Oh God. I don't want to even get to
I-
politics.
yeah, I know.
Oh God. And we're gonna have to vote in a couple days.
I know. I'm not looking forward to it. It's gonna be awful.
Same here,
I'm
but
terrified.
last question is, where do you guys have your meetings? So you can plug yourself.
We have our meetings in D1010. It's the OSA area. You walk up like the little steps right on the CD concourse, and then we're usually in like a big meeting room.
To the left after you
To the
walk in.
left, yeah. We have them on Tuesdays from 11 to 1, and then on Mondays we have our business meeting from 1 to 2.
Those are just meetings with the advisors, so they can sign off on like either
Paperwork
reimbursement
and,
stuff
yeah.
or event
Updates
stuff.
for events, yeah, stuff like that. But...
And-
And people who some people in our club, some members have classes during or like in between, so they'll show up early and then like leave a little late or something like that, or they'll show up late and leave early, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it doesn't matter when you come, just come visit us.
Okay, that was Theresa and Amber. I probably
Look, this
Amber
again.
and Theresa. Yeah, jeez. Okay, that was Theresa and Amber, and that was the Dreamcast. Now you can click away and listen to this music. Yeah.